Hello, this is Frida. Welcome to my channel. For today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to knit the brioche the easiest way. Super easy, especially for new starters who just started to learn how to knit. Welcome, welcome. You will love this tutorial. Okay, it's what we're going to do is we're going to knit them in a circular needle. So you need two different size of knitting needles. One is a 5, one is a 6, which is a US 8, and the other one is a US 10. Okay. And I'm going to be using these yarns that I have in my stash. You need a bulky yarn, and I believe this is a 5 weight. I don't know. I bought these from AliExpress, so they don't come with labels. It's supposed to be cotton, but I don't believe it is cotton. Maybe 50% cotton, but it is pretty thick. Just to point that out. So you need something that is bulky, bigger than a 4 weight. Okay. So I have 3 balls actually, and I was thinking of making a scarf, but I don't think it would be enough. As you know, bulky yarns, they don't have much yardage, much meter in them. Okay, so this is the hat that I have knit, and because of the yarn, I used the Lion Brand homespun yarn that I had in my stash, and I used the last ball. I still have more. Oh, never ends, right? So I still have about this. So I used the entire ball, but I have this left. And what I did is I cast on total of 50 stitches. Now I knitted with a smaller needle so it can give me the tightness that I need because of the, I didn't do a rib when knit one purl. You can do a rib if you want, but I didn't. So when you look at it, it's about 9 inches, 23 centimeter flat. So when you go around, it would be 18. So it does stretch. You need to measure. Okay. So when you look, no, I'm sorry, it's bigger than 9 inches. What am I talking about? It's almost 11. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. It's almost 11 here. 10 and a half, let's say. And when you stretch, it will fit an adult size head. Okay, and you can fold it like this, whichever you would like to wear it. And I knit about 10 inches tall, and then I did some decrease. Okay, just to show you. When I put it on my head, it fits like a slouchy hat to me. But if you want it shorter, you can knit shorter. So this is total of 11 inches. If you don't want it slouchy, I would say 9 inch you can knit. So let's get started. I'm going to cast on total of this 50 stitches, and then I'm going to use my smaller needle here, which is the 5mm needle, and I will come back to show you how to start it. It's just a regular knit stitch, and these are my prime, I think that's how you pronounce it, knitting needles. I bought it from Michael's when they had it, and they were on sale, and I used my coupon years ago. I do have a review about these, so go and check them out. Just type in prime, and then you will see my review. Okay, so cast on 50, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cast on 50, and I'm going to measure. Always measure. See, when it stretches, it should be 22 for average head. I'm just trying to. So this is a 12, so this is not enough. It depends on your yarn again. So I would highly recommend you to work with the bulky yarn, because this looks like it's bulky, but when you knit it, see how it it's not stretching that long as I was hoping. And so try to, well, I'll just measure the needle because it's not fitting. Let me see. So this is about 14 inches. So measure your head. See, when I measure my head, when I go around, it's 22. So it has to be 22 when it stretches, because this is going to be fold. So I said 50, but because of that being hand spun, that was bulky, and because it's hand spun yarn, a Lion brand, so it gives them more room. So I'm going to cast on more. I'll just finish this tail, and I will come back and I will show you again. Okay, so I moved my stitches to the circular needle that I have, and when I measure it, it's tip to tip, it's 23 inches, so this is perfect. Now I have total of 80 stitches. Okay, on this hat, I did 50 stitches. Can you see the difference between playing around? So just put that in caution, and always measure how much it will work, and measure your head, because this is going to be the tight part. And then it's going to be sewn from the edges here, 2 edges. We're not doing a round, just to point that out. Okay, and just another trick, I always tie my ends here. This was the long tail, how I cast on, and I have my knitting tail. So I'm just going to tie it. I don't want this to, because it's short, right? And I will weave this end when I'm sewing. So I'm going to start knitting. I do have a tutorial. I will put the link below, just a regular how to knit the brioche stitch. It's just the same method, but this time it's not going to be a scarf, it's going to be a hat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I use the purl method technique, and the first stitch I don't knit, and usually we need, okay, so I don't knit this stitch, and then what I do is, okay, yarn on the front, and what I do is I slide without knitting, but I'm doing a yarn over at the same time. Okay, focus. Okay, and then the next stitch I'm going to knit, because we are making the foundation for the brioche stitch. And the knit stitch, I'm just going to slide it without knitting and doing a yarn over. And I'm going to repeat this all the way to the end. Knit, slide, knit, slide, knit, slide. Okay, I will finish this row and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm at the last 2 stitches. I did a slip and I did a yarn over, so I'm going to knit this. Okay. Okay, let me fix this. And I'm going to knit this last one, but I will fix this because it has a couple of strands on this yarn, and then it does split. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, now there's 2 knits, but remember I don't knit the first stitch, so I don't have to worry about it with the even number or odd number. Okay, so I'm stretching this, and this is perfect. It comes up to 22 inches. And this is going to be the rib area, but I'm not doing a knit and purl. I'm just using the same, but I'm using a trick, doing a trick as using a smaller needle, which is the 5mm, and I will go to a bigger size after this. I'm going to knit a little bit, about, I don't know, 2 inches, so 3 inches with this needle, and then I will change my knitting needle to a bigger, just to give that more bulkier look. On this one, it doesn't show well because of the yarn, but I use the same technique, and no matter what tricks you do with this hand spun, it doesn't show. Yeah, it just gives you that nice softness and warm, but other than that, unfortunately, it doesn't show on that particular yarn. Okay, so I never knit my beginning stitches just to give that nice edge, so I just slip it as a knit stitch like I do, and then I am going to do the same technique, slip this one, And then when I see these two, I'm going to knit them two together. I'm going to slip this, knit yarn on the front using the purl technique, and then slip yarn over. So I'm going to do this for about 3 inches, and I will come back to show you how to change the knitting needle to a bigger size. And I notice with this knitting, this is a knit pride, I believe, and this looks thicker than this. It's the same size, so it gives you can you see it's thinner? So I'm going to continue knitting with this because I don't want it to be that thin. So yeah, this needle looks smaller than this particular one. So just be cautious when you're knitting, and I would highly recommend you to use a bulky yarn because the brioche stitch shows with the bulky yarn. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have knit about 2 inches, 5 centimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change from 5 to a 5 millimeter knitting needle to a bigger one. I think this is bigger than 6, so the bigger is the better. So let me see what I had these for years, so it's a 6. Actually, it's a 6.5, so that's okay. I started with a 5, so I'm jumping to a bigger. And see, it's split. Okay. Yeah, this because I don't like these yarns, and you never receive the ones that you get right when you order it from AliExpress. It has multiple strands of yarn, and then that's why it's splitting. And I have a feeling this is maybe 10% cotton. So okay, anyways, for the yarn, yeah, it's always better to buy it and touch it, but what can you do? Ordering online, you never know what you receive. Okay, so I am moving to a bigger knitting needle. So what I'm doing is I pick it as knitwise. That's why it gives me this nice straight line. And when I'm doing the mattress stitch, it gives a nice edge when I'm sewing it. Mattress stitch, that's what I'm going to do when I'm sewing it up. Okay, so I move this. Again, it's split. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. Slide 1, knit 2 together, and it gives me this beautiful stitch. Okay, and I'll be right back, and I will show you, because this is a longer, wider knitting needle. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll finish this row. As you can see, the stitch is wonderful. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and I'm going to continue knitting until I have total of 10 inches, and this is how it looks like. Closer look, just to give you an idea. And like I said, I would highly recommend you to knit it with a bulky yarn. If this is a 6, if you have a 7, 8, anything 4, or you can double 4 weight. That would work, because I'm planning to do that. I have this Bernat Premium. It's super soft, so I'm planning to double, like knit with 2 strands to give that nice look. So I will continue knitting, and I will come back to show you how to do the decreases. It's super easy, and this is how it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have knit the length that I want, so I'm now going to be decreasing, and I will show you how to do the decrease. To do the decrease, what we're going to do is we're going to knit a couple of stitches one at a time, so we get rid of the stitches. So what I'll do is I'll just do so I'm looking at my work here, so this is the wrong side of the work. So what I'll do is just gonna knit. So I just slide this. So you see there's 2 stitches. We're not counting this. So I'm gonna knit these 3, as you see, all together. That's all I'm gonna do this row. So I get rid of I will have 1 stitch instead of just like this. So this is how I'm going to do my decrease. For the entire row, I will knit these all together, and I will see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I have knit, and I have these stitches left, so I'm going to knit them, and then the last one I'm going to knit. Okay, so I'm looking, I have a little bit more yarn left. So I'm going to do another row of decrease. As you can see, this part is automatically becoming purl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit, I'll show you, purlwise this time. So this would be the inside of the hat, and this would be the outside of the hat. Okay, so I'm going to slide this first stitch, and then I am going to knit 3 together, just like this. So this way I will get rid of more stitches, just like this. Yarn on the front, and this is how it looks like, and this is the row. So I will finish this row and I will meet you at the end, and we're almost done. I have finished the row, so what I'm going to do is I grabbed a tapestry needle, so I'm going to go through each stitch. There's not many stitches left, so I'm picking my stitches just like this all the way to the end, and then I am going to sew it up just like this. Okay, now I'm going to pull. I still have a little bit of yarn left. Wanted to knit up all of it, but unfortunately it didn't work, so that's okay. So I will pull, and automatically this will happen. You will see. So this is not going to be a slotchy hat because I didn't knit the entire 10 inches because I don't want it to be a slotchy hat. I just want it to be a regular hat. Okay, so from here, I'm going to start sewing it up. Okay, this is the top of the, you can put a pom-pom if you want. You can play with it, but this is going to go for the homeless, so I'm not planning to make any pom-poms, as most of the men, they don't like pom-poms. My husband and my son, they don't like pom-poms on their hats, so so I'm gonna sew it up just like this. And of course it gets tangled because the end is pretty long. Can you see? So I'm gonna get rid of this. To do that, I'm just gonna go back and forth. See, the hole is gone. Okay, one more time. See? Nothing showing. Okay, so I will show you how I knit. Find the 2 ends here. It's really hard. So just gonna go between these stitches just like this. This is how you do the mattress stitch, and you won't even notice where it is sewed. Just like this, go between. So I'm going to repeat this all the way to the end, just grabbing like this, and I will meet you here and we will finish it up, and I'll be right back. Ta-da! Here's the hat. Okay, and here's the other one. This one's longer, so this is a slotchy. It's about 10 inches tall, and this is about 8 inches, maybe 8.5. And this is how it's done. You can see the stitches better on this compared to this. It's really hard to see. So I hope you like this tutorial. It's super easy. You just need to sew the sides and then do it. I did two rows of decrease, and that's all to it. So I hope you like this tutorial. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, share it with your family and friends, and happy knitting.